Hey, everybody, good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet Earth, and welcome back. My name is Dave. Happy Wednesday here from Southern California. It is the day that I have selected to try this new feature out called Ask Me Anything. All right, and the question I'm going to answer today is one asked by so many people over the years, and that is which saxophone is the best saxophone to start on for beginners, right? And the question always refers to either the tenor sax or the alto sax. They always leave the soprano sax or the baritone sax out of that equation. It's tenor sax or it's alto sax. I happen to have one of either, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. We'll talk about the differences and we'll go over why neither is better or worse. There are just a couple of limiting factors, and we'll get into that in just 1 minute. But first, I wanted to say that last week somebody wrote in with a question. And as I pitched last week to you, ask me anything, and if I pick your question out of the masses and answer it here on the tube, I will give you a free hour Zoom lesson. Well, the question that was asked was a drumming question. The dude asked me a question about drumming, and I don't play drums, and I felt so bad about that. So, I circled back around and asked if he had a saxophone question, but he never got back to me. So anyway, I have to rephrase all this and say, ask me anything about saxophone, all right? Even if it's like a theory question, or perhaps you got performance anxiety, or you have maybe you've got an audition coming up, your audition prep, anything like that. Improv, anything you got that relates to saxophone. All right. Now I can play flute and I can play clarinet, but I'm not really very good at that. And you don't want me to answer those questions, right? You want to get a good flute player, a good clarinet player, or a good drummer. So anyway, ask me anything about saxophone. Send it to davegoodsax at gmail.com. davegoodsax at gmail.com. All right. Now, which one is better? The alto sax? Got one right here. This is my Con 6M alto sax, built in 1946 according to the serial numbers. And this is my Olds tenor sax. I'm going to come back here so you can see the difference in size. First thing is, it's size does matter, right? My Olds tenor sax is so old that their records don't actually reflect when this was built, but it looks like a Martin stencil. Too much information, right? Anyway, alto sax, tenor sax. A little bit of a difference in size, right? All right, that alone is the only reason that we would give your middle schooler or your elementary schooler an alto sax to play, all right? Because their hands can handle it. They can reach around this. They can reach around and make the saxophone work. Tenor sax is too big. Soprano sax, it's too expensive, and it's just too difficult to, for a kid to start playing. And, you really don't see a lot of soprano sax parts in school band. Till you get to higher level, maybe high school, something like that. Anyway, alto sax. So it kind of has the reputation as sort of like the beginner, the starter sax, the kid sax, because so many kids started out on alto sax. In fact, so many adult learners come back to me with the alto sax that they started out on, then passed along to their kids, who then quit, put it back in the closet, and the adult has dug it back out and said, I think I want to do it. So anyway, the alto sax, a much different voice than the tenor sax. Just because it has the reputation of being an instrument that small hands can hold does not mean it's easier to play. In fact, and I'm going to take a lot of hits for this, the alto sax is, not including the soprano sax, is the hardest of them to make sound beautiful. It's a very, very challenging, it gives you nothing, all right? You got to practice this baby every day. You can get away with a lot on a tenor sax, alto sax. No, sir. Let me play a G on this alto sax, and I'll play a G on the tenor just by comparison. G. One saxophone is all saxophones. They all finger the same way, albeit they come in different keys. All right. Keep that note in your head, all right? Because here comes the tenor sax, and I'm going to play the same. I'm going to finger a G on the tenor sax and play it. Hear the difference? We're about a fifth apart, and that's a mighty big interval. The tenor sax has a darker, deeper voice, more perhaps more in line with our normal human speaking voice. Okay, unless you have a really high voice. No, scratch that. I should edit that out, but I don't know how. Anyway, that's the deal. So the tenor sax has this beautiful, deep, mid-rangey kind of voice. All right. And quite often, when you're playing in the context of, say, with a combo or a big band, you're going to be soloing up here in the palm keys just to get up and out of that mid-range. What do I mean when I say mid-range? Mid-range is where everybody lives in a band. Piano, guitar, bass is in there. So you have a lot of people in the mid-range of a band. All right, the alto sax is a much higher voice, and it just pops right out. You're not hiding anywhere when you're playing an alto sax. It's not me, it's the reed. I find the alto sax is one of those instruments that I can't take any time off. I gotta bust this thing out every day and work on it every day because it is a cruel mistress. The tenor sax, not so much. It's an easier instrument for me to play. I've played, just in a lot of rock and blues bands for the last dozen years, and this was my instrument of choice, the tenor sax, okay? Is one better than the other for a beginner? No! Since we're talking to adults now, adult learners, size no longer becomes an issue. So you want to pick something based on your ear. What do you like to listen to? Name some saxophone players. In fact, just write them down and go listen to them. Write down some saxophone players and the ones that you listen to and that you really dig. And I want you to, just look at, is the list, even 50-50 tenor and alto? Or is it like maybe heavier on the alto side? You've got your Cannonball Adderleys and you've got your Hank Crawfords and you've got your, they're just amazing, wonderful Braxton Cook, great alto sax players there are that you can listen to. Or over here, are you listening to? Oh gosh, there's so many wonderful. How about Huge Groove? There's a cool smooth jazz guy. EUGEGROOVE. Huge Groove. All right, check out Huge Groove. Kirk Whalum. Oh my God, what a master, tenor sax master. And of course, John Coltrane comes up on the tenor sax list, but he's not so attainable. Kind of hard to figure out, what's going on because he's a master craftsman. Cannonball, who was the other guy? We had Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker was a just amazing master craftsman on the alto sax. Again, not entirely attainable. Perhaps you'll like Maceo Parker on the alto sax, the guy that was with James Brown, the James Brown band for a zillion years. Whatever it is, listen to your saxophone. Go into Spotify, your play, whatever it is you listen to, however you access music, listen to, and let your ear tell you which one. But anyway, like I said, one saxophone is all saxophones. They're in different keys, but that's a whole different conversation you want to have with your teacher. Does the tenor sax to me doesn't take more air to play. The alto sax, to me, takes a little bit more air to play. And I don't know why that is. I suppose maybe we have this tenor sax swan neck. And then maybe there's a little resistance here. I do not know. Some of you at home now are asking, what the hell is that on Dave's cork? Plumber's tape. When the cork starts to get mashed in and the mouthpiece is loose and you got to pull it back out to be in tune, plumber's tape is your best friend. It's Teflon tape, right? The alto sax, on the other hand, this neck is kind of like a 90-degree angle, and there's nothing stopping the air. I mean, you're sucking air to make this thing sound good. And you're doing your long tones and all that. You can't really get away with as much as you can with the tenor sax. Alto sax, check out the mouthpiece sizes. Alto sax, tenor sax in the front. Alto sax, tenor sax, alto sax, tenor sax. Well, boy, for lack of better filming techniques, right? Anyway, that's it. Got any questions? Hit me with them. davegoodsax@gmail.com. If any of this helped you, please hit that love button And if you have a need for more of these kinds of little master classes, I'm back once a week with something new. You hit the subscribe button. I'm so grateful for all those of you who already have. We have a big YouTube family now. And it's just been a blast to be here with you today. Be good, do good work, play your horn a lot, keep in touch, and again, send me your questions. If I pick one of your saxophone questions out, I'll do a YouTube thing with you for an hour, okay? Hey, take care. See you again.